How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. It has been a minute, but I must say, in regards to price action, it has been fairly consistent. I talked about how crucial it was for Lucid to hold down support levels around 36.50. The low of the day was around 36.75. And of course, we've talked about the resistance right at that $40 level being a psychological area. We'll talk about it further inside this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bullish case scenario and as well as in the bearish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what the buying and the selling behavior is like on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $36.98, being down 4.30%. On the low, it tested $36.75, and then on the high, testing $38.35. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you could see we traded at 28.238 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 52.036 million shares. So no surprises there since we have been dealing with lower trading volume as of late. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 40.89. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we have strength above the 200-day, the 100-day, we are below the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So the first thing that I want to point out is this area of support at 36.50. I talked about this being a key level. We ended up testing $36.75 on the day. So going into tomorrow, you're going to want to see that 36.50 level actually hold if it ends up being tested. If it decides to break through it, then we could potentially see levels here around $35.44. So that's what the bearish case scenario would actually look like. And then of course you'd want to see if it could hold up 35 from there. As far as for the bullish case scenario, we ended up seeing a high of $38.35. So you're going to want to see a move to see if we can get past this $38 area and start going into 39. We do have some resistance to be exact right here at $39.13 and as well as over here at $39.29. So passing these levels should be able to give us the opportunity to start testing right here around $40, which I've talked about before will be a psychological area for Lucid. And we've seen in the past it has been rejected, and this is why we've been experiencing this pullback. But for the most part, as far as how this chart is looking, it just seems Lucid is consolidating. And this is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if it continues to trade in a tight range. You can see it's doing a great job holding up the high areas of $36, or we can call it around 37, and then being within that range around 40. If this consolidation continues, especially going into the new year, and there's a lot of price strength, this is where I want to look forward to seeing Lucid actually pass the $40 area and then seeing where it could go from there. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it is at 56.41%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 14.80 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 200,000, updated 29 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 5.17%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of December the 23rd, which was last week, it was at 57.51. And then for the close of the 27th, which was yesterday, it was at 56.41. So what this tells us right away, Lucid does continue continue to have short squeeze potential, and there's many shorts vested in this play. And the moment we start getting some more volume and there's buying pressure coming into the stock, this is where you can look forward to seeing those strong moves in price action. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 184, and then on the outflow is at 194. So it was an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, on the large it was 2.39, on the medium it was 97.65, and then on the small it was 84.26. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 0, on the medium it was 100, and on the small it was 94.05. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, December the 28th, it being that inflow of 2.39 million, and in the past 4 trading days behind that, it was outflow days. Now, as we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And of course, when we take a look at the large, which potentially could be representing institutions and funds, this is where we ended up seeing an inflow of 2.39 million versus 0. So this is definitely good to see. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was right around 1.72%. And you know what? This is actually good to see for a stock like Lucid. This shows many are holding on to their positions. They were recently added to the NASDAQ 100, so I'm not too shocked about that. There's going to be a lot of institutional ownership and so on. So as far as the trading activity is concerned, yes, we do have traders that are going in and out of the play, but let's be honest, as far as the trading volume that we have been seeing, it is definitely not as high as it used to be due to the fact it is around the holidays, but I do expect Lucid will be picking up as far as trading volume is concerned in the new year. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, this has been a volatile play. It has a 52-week high of $64.86. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have many who are selling in regards to tax loss purposes. Another thing to take into consideration, it has been trading in a very tight range. I talked about wanting to see that area of support hold up around 36.50. It pulled back to around 36.75. So going into tomorrow, you want to see 36.50 continue to hold on that pullback. If it ends up breaking through it, that's why I can see this stock going into the $35 range. As far as for the bullish case scenario, you're going to want to see it get above that resistance and that psychological area right at 40 bucks. We have been seeing it test $39 and $38, and it continues to be rejected. So this is one thing you want to add to your game plan if you are going to be trading it. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. Many shorts are vested in this play. So the moment we start having more volume and there's buying pressure coming into the stock, this is where I can see Lucid getting past that $40 area. But like I was saying inside of the technicals, Lucid is going through some consolidation at the moment. So if it wants to continue to do this, especially as we come closer to the end of this year, then going into the new year, we could look forward to possibly seeing a strong pop. More money coming into this stock. So this is why you want to make sure you keep it on your radar. As far as for my long-term investors out there that have those questions like, Dre, are you going to be adding to your position? I will not be adding until this stock pulls back below $20. That is just for me. You do not have to follow that. And that pretty much makes the best sense in my scenario because this is a growth stock. It's going to go through a lot of ups and downs. And considering we're going to go into next year and there's going to be interest rate increases and so on, I wouldn't be shocked to see the stock pull back into the 20s, and I'll be ready to strike when it does go down below 20 if it happens. I know many of you are very bullish on this play. I'm bullish in the long-term prospects as well, but I just want to make sure you guys are not being naive and you're using the right risk management and as well as doing your due diligence and your homework before jumping into the play. Because if it does pull back or if it's extremely volatile, the last thing that you want to do is to panic sell. And the reason why people panic sell because they don't know anything about the stock or they don't have enough confidence in the stock. And I want to make sure that you're confident if you're going to be building out a position in this play. Whoa, that was a mouthful. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.